We're going to get it all out now.
What it is. Every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not gonna go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
Perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't never talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Really defending this shitty halftime performance.
Bad Bunny actually showed us what America is. America is taking the brilliance, the beauty of so many other countries coming together in one country. So many different languages, so many different heritages, so many different cultures coming together in one place to all be celebrated. Yep. He had the Puerto Rican flag. He had the American flag. He had several different flags from the different Latin American countries and different North American countries. Bad Bunny actually showed us that if you're willing to step outside of yourself and open up your mind for even the sliver of a second, you too can learn, you can be entertained, you can have a little understanding, you can have a little empathy, and you can have fun while doing it.
What a fucking fag. If these people love America so much, then why the fuck are they running around with the flags of the country that they fled?
I love it.
But Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. Yes, a fucking territory. And why the fuck are we allowing people from a territory to tell us what an American is? Here's something we've got to understand as Americans. Multiculturalism is a cancer for America. We cannot survive on multiculturalism. A people must assimilate when they come to this country. We have one culture, one identity, one language. That's American culture, that's American identity, that's the English fucking language. Anything else is not fucking American.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
It's Mia.
Andre Williams.
Ray Mars.
And I'm Enzo.
And tonight on the new party, you're going to have a very conservative take. If you watched last night, I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but you're meeting the red hats in the building. But nevertheless, we are excited to have Andre Williams. You saw the intro clip. But Andre, we were talking backstage, and I was telling you guys that a housewife got fired today. And what's interesting to me is she got fired over her Bad Bunny takes. So for those of you that may or may not know, Real Housewives of New York star Jill Zarin is of Jewish origin. And I say that because we're going to explain why that's important later. And unfortunately, she now got fired. Andre, do you ever think there'd be a time that you'd see someone getting fired that's of Jewish origin for saying something?
Oy vey. I mean, the last time we saw someone like this was Roseanne Barr. You know, she's very Jewish. Every now and again they've got to make examples out of the tribe, and like, hey, we got to fire this one because they're not, they're not on code. So make an example. But it is what it is. We'll see what she has to say and what comes of it. I mean, these people are rich any damn way. They've got a lot of money and connections, so they get fired from a show. They go find another temple they can go to. So we'll see what happens with her.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm going to play her take. I thought I had the clip, but it got deleted. But she talked bad about Bad Money, and she was pretty candid and open in what she had to say. And she backtracked. She deleted it immediately after, and they fired her. But before we get into that, I'm going to play somebody else's take while I find that clip. People have been really not holding back with the Bad Bunny stuff, but somebody said they liked it, and it really surprised me. Let's play.
Bunny halftime show, let's be perfectly honest.
Oh, Jesus.
It wasn't a militantly woke show. It just wasn't. The way that conservatives were talking about it, I thought it was going to be Drag Queen Story Hour. The way that conservatives were fear-mongering and creating this anxiety about this halftime show, they're like, it's going to be an anti-ICE, anti-Trump. They're going to burn the American flag. He's going to be cross-dressing. It's not what it was. And let's take a step back and not look at it through the lens of being a chud that is obsessed with politics. Let's take a step back and look at it through the eyes of a normie. It's like a Latino-themed show. It's like a different theme. And yeah, it's in Spanish, got it. And yeah, it's very Puerto Rican, it's very Latin. But if I'm a normie and I'm watching this, it's basically just an inoffensive Latin-themed show. And it's not really that political. Obviously, there's a political subtext, and we can get into that. The significance of it is not lost on anybody. That in the middle of this ICE thing, in the middle of the mass deportations and the phenomenon of ICE removals, which heavily target Hispanic.
So Enzo, you are of Italian descent. Nick Fuentes is of Italian and Mexican descent.
Does it surprise you to hear him have this take? He liked it. He said it was great. He didn't see nothing wrong with it. He said he had fun.
I'm just still confused. I thought you'd be like one of the most vocal ones out there talking about it, saying that Trump's not doing enough with deportations, but he's cool with the Bad Bunny performance. I don't know. That just threw me for a loop. I don't even know how to really even react to that. Nick, what? Is Nick like just actually kind of maybe woke at the end of the day? I don't know.
I mean, Gray, you're a secret Nick Fuentes fan. What do you think about what he said? He likes Bad Bunny.
I mean, he's Mexican. I don't know if his parents speak Spanish. He probably knows some Spanish music. I even last night you said it was left wing people, but right wing people last night said they liked the show. So I mean, it was entertaining. Like the weekend show to me at the halftime show was worse than that. So yeah, you didn't understand what he was saying, but as far as like all the intricate creative stuff, I was entertained.
Well, I'm going to play the clip of the housewife guys who got fired. So she lost her gig all because of what she said here.
So we all agree. Now we all
Bad Bunny.
agree. I agree. I said it before that it was the worst halftime show ever. And it's 250 years that we're celebrating right now in the United States. And I just don't think it was appropriate to have it in Spanish. And quite frankly, I didn't need to see him grabbing his, G area. I think it was totally inappropriate. You've got all these young kids watching the Super Bowl, and he doesn't have to be grabbing himself every 5 seconds. Is he so insecure? Seriously, I didn't understand it. I don't speak Spanish. I would have liked to have known the words he was saying. To me, it looked like a political statement because there were literally no white people in the entire thing. I think it was a political statement, and I'm not taking a side one way or the other. I just do. I think it was an ICE thing. And I just think that the NFL sold out, and it's very sad because this was 75 years. And, shame. And Lady Gaga got a facelift. I didn't recognize her. I literally had to Google her face to see who it was because we all couldn't see who it was. In the middle of halftime. At least it gave me something to do because it was so hard to watch.
So, Mia, do you think this was fire-worthy?
I mean, not really. She didn't really say anything that negative. She just said a light opinion. I mean, she could have been way worse. We've seen people have commented way worse on our videos about it. So, I mean, I don't think she should have gotten fired over it. But I will say, I mean, if they're firing the Hebrews, they're going to start firing everybody else. They're usually the last people to go because they're all the CEOs. So, I mean, we all better watch out. We're going to be next.
This is why I talked about this, Andre, because you've been harping on this too. For me, I'm a very spiritual person. We may not agree on this, but I think they're trying to do a one world order. And for me, if you sitting here firing Jews over this is like a big thing. Like, I don't think she said anything that bad. Why do you think they fired her, Andre? I mean, to me, that was not bad what she said.
Well, yeah, I don't think anything that she said was bad, but she doesn't have the typical Jewish appearance, so she looks very Anglo-Saxon. And having anyone who has the appearance of an Anglo-Saxon is probably going to get fired for saying anything that's, alluding to, well, I didn't like the fact that everyone was not white and that they had all the sexual stuff, so they're going to cancel her for that. And I mean, also, it is very popular now to criticize Jews. I mean, 5-10 years ago, you couldn't do this at all. So it's good to see it. Now we're able to call Jews out and hold them accountable, but we're holding them accountable over this shit. Pretty base take. I'm going to have to give Jews a W this time around. Jews get a W in my book today, just simply for that take. But, I mean, yeah, she isn't wrong. I mean, it was kind of disgusting to see this halftime performance. I didn't like last year's halftime performance with Kendrick Lamar, but this one was even more disgusting and un-American. It didn't really feel like America anymore. More people are like, well, it's good because now the NFL is going to be doing in different languages and shit. I don't want that. I thought this was an American pastime. This is an American thing. This isn't, the whole world can watch and do. The world can watch, but this is an American thing. And America comprises of really mainly two people, blacks and whites at the end of the day. Of course, Native Americans and Hispanics and so on, but mainly the people who are really disgusted by it are blacks and whites. Really, blacks have been really disgusted by it. They don't really feel too welcome of seeing the overly Hispanic representation in the halftime performance. And it shows you that the great replacement doesn't just affect, the white people who are running around scared about it. It's mainly black people, the first ones who've been affected by it. And the halftime performance is kind of like their eye opener to that. So we'll see what the week, more conversations and more people will speak out. But, this is something that's going to fade within, a week or two. We'll see.
Gray, you said in the chat, I see why she got fired. Why did she get fired? Can you explain it to me?
She was saying some pretty wild stuff. And I think right now with the Hispanic community, people are looking at discrimination towards them a lot more. Normally it was blacks, and she's in Hollywood. So you're in Hollywood, they're going to basically try to protect their product. Hollywood is very left wing. So I'm not surprised that they let her go, because I feel like people don't think about like the company's implications, and the same thing with the NFL as far as just the business side. The NFL is trying to like get more customers. They had their game in Brazil. They probably gonna have more international games. So they're trying to get more people to watch. Most people watch soccer, and they're just trying to push American football. So they're trying to, yes, they are trying to give to other cultures, other groups, but it was a business decision, I think, not a political decision.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say, guys, you heard it here first. I'm hearing they're going to have more reggaeton performers next year. Something G, some Carol G or someone. They're talking about females for next year. So get used to it. You better learn. You guys have a whole year to learn. Shut up and get used to it. Anyways, guys, we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to talk about the Epstein files. Oh, go ahead. You have something to say, Enzo?
I was just saying no. If my team is not in the Super Bowl, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. That's my entire thing. I don't care who's performing. I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm not watching it. And half the time, I'm not even watching the Super Bowl halftime show, because if I'm watching the Super Bowl and my team's in it, I'm at the fucking bar. I'm worried about my next drink while what's going on during the halftime show.
Can we have an honorable mention to how terrible the Super Bowl ads were? I was waiting for Mountain Dew. Yeah. I was waiting for Doritos. I mean, I was waiting for Budweiser. Yeah. I was waiting for Mr. Clean.
It was like two good. There was like two good ones.
The Pepsi one, I put it in the chat. The Pepsi one, when the polar bears were caught on.
Oh yeah, you did talk about that one.
What was with Gronk and everybody? It was just fucking weird. That was the only one that was halfway entertaining. And then the Diddy one, or not Diddy one, the fucking 50 Cent one.
Same difference.
Yeah, I mean, he called it.
The TPUSA performance was terrible. That one was fucking awful. That was like the worst.
I thought it was good.
That was dog shit. That was the most Jewish shit I've ever seen on television, besides like watching, I don't know, Seinfeld. That was like the most Jewish shit you could ever watch. That was disgusting. For them to do that, if they were smart, if conservatives were actually smart, they would have had everyone watch the halftime performance and then get red pilled or get black pilled from the event. But no, let's do Kid Rock. Most people don't even know who fucking Kid Rock is. I know because he's from my state and I love Kid Rock, but most people don't fucking know who Kid Rock is and give a fuck. If they could have did someone a little bit more. I think that Kanye would be pretty base, but that's a little too edgy right there. If they did someone a little bit more.
Kanye, really?
Kanye would have been perfect. He likes the Jews now. He apologized.
That would have been wild if it was Kanye.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Bradley Gilbert and I like Kid Rock, so I thought it was good because I like both of them.
I don't know. Last question before we move on. Andre, do you think that TPUSA faked the numbers since you said it sucked?
Oh, most definitely. I think they faked the numbers. I think it was. No, who's watching it? Boomers? That's it. Boomers
I know people that watched it. I watched it. I know, like my supervisor at work, my real job watched it. People watched it.
Besides you and like the real people who watched it, okay? Like the 10 real people that watched it. The rest were boomers. I think if you didn't like either one, if you were smart, you probably just wouldn't watch either one. You were like, fuck, I'm not going to watch this at all and move on. I know a lot of people who did that. They just were like, I'm not going to watch this shit. The game was ass. The halftime performance is foreign. And then what are you going to turn over TPUSA and see Erica Kirk cry for another fucking 15 minutes? I'm good.
She wasn't there.
She wasn't there? I don't know.
No, they had. One of his homeboys came out.
Well, that's
She's a terrible
because
actress. I'll just say that.
her boyfriend's having another baby with his wife. So I mean, she's probably upset by that. She's probably chilling, hanging out in her house for once.
And I'll say I watched the Super Bowl with a MAGA person, and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn it off when this come on, this, and that," and he still watched it. And he said that him and his girl would go dancing to Spanish music and everything. So I was shocked by that, but so I'm pretty sure some other MAGA people watched it.
Yeah, MAGA's weak and dead, and most it's done. MAGA's killed themselves with the pro-Zionist shit and just being half-assed on everything. So I'm not surprised that somebody that's MAGA was like, I watched it and it was actually pretty good. It's like, okay, of course you fucking thought it was great, right? It's just they're always pussyfooting now. That's why no one has respect for MAGA. It's not even because of the policies or anything. It's because these people don't double down. And they don't really carry themselves with, I believe in these things and I'm going to stand on those beliefs. It's just like, well, you know what? Well, I watched it and it was kind of okay and I enjoyed it a little bit. You know, they just cut down a little bit of the gay shit. It's like, dude, have some fucking balls. It's no wonder why you're going to get killed in the midterms and we're going to suffer in 2028. It's going to be real hard for the right come 2028 and beyond.
What about 2026 this year?
Yeah, 2026 is going to be a bloodbath, but 2028, that's the real killer right there. A lot of people on the right. Nigga, it's going to be bad for us.
Oh, Lord. Well, speaking of bloodbath, Epstein was besties with a former Israeli prime minister. It's not looking good, guys. Let's watch this clip where Virginia Giraffe mentions this.
Sometimes there were other people on the island that were important people. I saw Alan Dershowitz on the island. It was more of a business meeting another time. I saw Bill Clinton sitting with Jeffrey on the living room porch area, which was Jeffrey's favorite spot. I saw no other guests there at that time at all. I just said, hey, wow, Jeffrey sitting with Bill Clinton.
So that's just a reminder of a clip. They pretty much said that she saw Bill Clinton. Gray, you are our most Democrat person, I think, on the team, where you're not like a left or a liberal, you're just Democrat. What do you think about Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton was great. I mean, I was a kid in the 90s. Everybody liked Bill Clinton, especially Black people like Bill Clinton. And I think it's kind of cool, you know, with Monica Lewinsky, what he did. So most presidents don't do that. So just like Trump, he was a wild boy. So I'm not surprised that he has all this stuff going on. But in today's terms, people gonna say that's an alpha male. So Bill Clinton had his fun. His wife stayed around. Congrats to him. Shout out to Bill. So
do you think he's in the Epstein files? Do you believe he went to the island?
Yeah. Of course. Look at what he did. Look at look at all. Look, if he's gonna do it in the Oval Office, you think he won't fly and do it?
Was he still a good president, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is explaining the emails now. I had to find the clip with Ehud Barak. He was a prime minister in the 90s for Israel. Let's watch.
Massive file leak that just happened from Ehud Barak, the ex-prime minister of Israel, one of Epstein's very good buddies. Thousands of his emails were leaked online. And like alternative sources are talking about it, but the mainstream media, totally silent. Radio silence. And I have spent the last, I don't even know how long, just going down the rabbit hole. And I'm about to take you with me. This is just the start. This is just preliminary reporting. There's a lot of files, and just figuring out how to even analyze them has been a whole process. But through that process, working with my buddy over here on one screen and the reports on the other screen, and getting AI involved to write code that would scrape and then combine and then analyze. By the end of this, we're going to get to how they were surveilling the Hillary Clinton campaign. Oh yeah. And Putin and Jeff Bezos, Bill Clinton, Benjamin Netanyahu, and there's links that will go to email report. But first, I just want to tell you how we got here. Because when you actually download the leaked emails, they come from 2 different emails. But when you go into those emails, there is just this whole mess of folders. And in each one, there's more folders with different things, and each of these files is an individual email, right? But we're talking like 50,000 emails or more, each individual files in all these different folders. How the fuck are we going to analyze them? So lately, I've been playing with AIs in terms of helping find sources, helping dig through complex details and data, and helping get to primary sources. And or in this case, aggregate thousands of email files and turn them all into one file that we can search all at once, because they're not all in one place. You can't search them. Right? Like there's nowhere you can go and type in Peter Thiel and have it find you where Peter Thiel is in the files. So I got on a call with my code wizard buddy. We got on here, he taught me how to use the most basics of Python, and he helped me out and did it with me. Crash course in coding, and we wrote out all this crazy code, and like, it's a long story, we'll skip it. But we wrote a program that would put them all into one JSON file, and then we got the JSON file, and it's real big. When you scroll through it, it's all of them extracted with critical information retained, like file names and file paths, day the email was sent, who it's from, who it's to, etc. But now it's searchable, and now we can put AI into them and have AI start scraping through it and be like, find me every instance of this or that, or look for patterns here or there. And that's where we stumbled across something kind of random that at first we thought was a nothing burger. Is in one of the little reports that it made summarizing what it was finding in the files, it mentioned Clinton and the Clinton Foundation and surveillance of the Clinton Foundation. And I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me that Jeffrey Epstein and Ehud Barak are communicating behind the scenes about surveillance on the Clinton administration? Please tell me more. And so then it wrote up this little executive summary. This is all AI generated, all about what it found about the Clinton Foundation. And this is where it gets complicated, because you can't just trust AI to just tell you the truth and not double check it. You have to double check AI. And so what I always do every time that I'm using AI for anything is I build in source citation. So it has to provide me links to the primary source where it is getting the information from. In this case, those are emails. But out on the internet, maybe that's to an article or to a statement or to, a document or something. And so we had to build in links to the emails that it's referencing to make these claims about the Clinton Foundation. And this is the original email. And it kind of looks like a nothing burger. It's from noreply@relsi.com, and it's kind of just like a newsletter with a bunch of headlines in it, which is like, oh, that's not very interesting. I mean, I think we're just accessing his spam folder at this point, right? Wrong. Anytime you get to a part in one of these digs where it's just like something's weird or it doesn't make sense or you don't understand something, you should just look a little deeper. So this weird newsletter thing is published and produced by Relationship Sciences LLC, or Relationship Science LLC. So just for the heck of it, we look up Relationship Science LLC. We ask for a little summary of what they're doing. We dig into them. Basic AI summary, probably the easiest way to get this description out. Relationship Science LLC does a web-based platform to build business relationships for selling and growing, providing clients the information needed.
Okay, guys, I just wanted to give you some background on Ehud Barak and also the amount of email. So pretty much what I saw that stood out is that in a 2018 email, Epstein asked Barak to make clear that I don't work for Mossad. Then there was a 2017 email from Epstein asking if someone had requested Barak help obtain former Mossad agents to do dirty investigations. Also in the emails, guess who Epstein said he was meeting? Not President Trump, Obama. He talks about multiple meetings in the emails with Obama. Enzo, what's your thoughts about his relationship with Ehud Barak and hanging out with the other Barak?
My thing with the whole Israeli connection is Jeffrey Epstein had connections literally to everybody and anybody, royalty, figureheads of states, billionaires. He's got connections to everybody. When it comes down to the whole Obama situation, I think it's just kind of funny because right around that time, a lot of things started happening for Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump because of, Donald Trump ratting him out to the police in 2006, leads into Barack Obama, his White House counsel, Kathleen Rumler, was the one who actually having conversations directly with Jeffrey Epstein the entire time. So like I've been saying from the beginning, this entire Epstein debacle is a big nothing burger when it comes down to Trump, and people are looking at the wrong places, and the right people are looking in the right places to actually point out people. But the left, they only want to talk about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. But I thought it was about helping the victims and getting a story out there, guys. I think we should, treat everybody the same, have the same energy for everybody in this, not just one person.
So you've been talking about this a lot, Andre. That's why I invited you tonight. What do you think the connection is with the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak?
It's simple as day. I don't know why the conservatives on the right like to dismiss we have to look at all the connections and everything, but let's not look at the Israeli connection, the blatant, obvious Israeli connection that is so prominent in the documents. His relationship, how he talks about non-Jews, how he talks with other Jews who are powerful, who are not only just in Israel, but even through this country. Les Wexner, that's one example. I mean, we keep dismissing this because we don't want to get to the root of the issue, that this country has been completely taken over by Jewish supremacy, by Jewish supremacists. And these people have been working together to, get blackmail and encourage our business and political leaders to go in certain directions financially and geopolitically, especially within the State Department. I mean, look what we've been dealing with the last 40 years in the Middle East and through foreign policy. It's been all in the interest of Israel. Look what happened with Venezuela. That was not just because of freedom and democracy. That was because of Venezuela's connection to Iran, preparing us for a war with Iran. All this stuff has been going on, and every president has been affected by it. I mean, this is not like this partisan. This is the problem I'm having with the left and the right. The left is talking like, well, this is a class issue. It's like, yes, partially. And then the right is like, well, this is a Democrat and Republican issue. It's like, no, this is a Jewish supremacy problem. This is a class issue when we look at it in a more broader term. But in terms of everything else, we don't want to get to the root of the problem because we have a country that's so wrapped and tied in with, if we call out the Israelis, well, that's anti-Semitic. Or, I don't want to get in trouble for saying anything bad about the Jews. Well, too fucking bad. Listen, I want people to be held accountable. Black and white, my content, I hold black people accountable. I call out the weakest of white people when they sit back and enable the nigga bullshit and act weak. The same thing with the Jewish community. This is the last piece of the puzzle. If we want a civilized society, we want a civilizational state, if we want to behave like one and go forward and survive, we've got to call out the Jewish supremacy problem we have, not only in the United States, but across the Western world. And the Epstein files proves that. So anyone saying anything about Democrat and Republican and like, well, Trump is actually exonerate. Well, no, Trump has been compromised from the beginning because Trump is a rich and powerful guy who is, let's be honest, when you have money and power, you want to do a lot of shit. And you're going to find yourself in a lot of dirty things. I mean, it is what it is. But he found himself in this hole, and he's been compromised ever since. I mean, I stopped being a true Trump supporter in 2017 when we started bombing Syria. We killed Qasemi in Iraq. That was I'm done when we start pushing for more war in the Middle East. So this idea that it's this partisan issue or it's just about, the rich and the poor is like the most I'm going to say surface level take. I was going to say like this is the most sub 40 IQ take, but it's the most surface level perspective on everything that people just don't want to get to the root of the issue. So a lot of people are waking up, but we'll see what happens, what comes of it further.
Mia, I have a clip, and then I'm going to have you come and respond. This clip is from Kim Iverson talking about the names that Virginia Giuffre mentioned in her book.
Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre's new book has just dropped, and it is atrocious. The details. Virginia Giuffre passed away in April of a suicide. Supposed suicide, maybe an actual suicide. It's unclear. She had insisted before her death that this book came out no matter what happens to her. She wanted this book published. It is now published. She points at many very powerful people. She doesn't name very many names. In the book, she does name Prince Andrew, but there's others that she just alludes to. She calls them billionaire 1, billionaire 2, billionaire 3. A sadistic prime minister, soon to be governor of a Western U.S. state, and a former U.S. senator. These are the titles that she gave in the book, probably to protect the publisher. So who is she talking about? It's all still kind of speculative, but based on her prior accusations in unsealed Epstein documents, she talks about the sadistic prime minister. Giuffre describes an unnamed prime minister who raped her, choked her unconscious, laughing as she bled. This is Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel. And at the time, he was the prime minister when he was was doing this. That is the allegation. Barack was a close Epstein associate. He visited Epstein's island and New York properties multiple times, flew on the Lolita Express, received millions from Epstein for a security firm. Who are the billionaires? She lists billionaire 1, billionaire 2, and billionaire 3. Billionaire 1 is likely Glenn Dubin, the hedge fund billionaire and co-founder of Highbridge Capital. Giuffre alleged in 2016 that she was trafficked to him for sex. He and his wife Eva were close Epstein friends. Billionaire 2 is likely Thomas Pritzker. She claimed in court filings that she was directed to have sex with him. And billionaire 3 is likely Leon Black. This is the private equity billionaire and Apollo Global Management co-founder, soon to be governor of a Western state. I think that is probably Bill Richardson, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson. Giuffre accused him in a 2016 deposition of having sex with her while underage. He was a former U.S. Energy Secretary, UN ambassador, and frequent Epstein guest. He was often on the flight logs for the Lolita Express. The former U.S. Senator is likely George Mitchell of Maine, who served between 1980 and 1995. Giuffre alleged in 2016 testimony that she was directed to have sex with him. He was a frequent Epstein associate and later a Middle East peace envoy under Obama. She endured many horrors. It was absolutely terrible. Her book is atrocious. I mean, this young girl, here she is at 13 years old. This is when they snatched her up, basically, from Trump's Mar-a-Lago and used her and abused her. And everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. She was so young. This is why we want the Epstein files. We want to know who was involved because they should be held accountable. But we also want to know who was involved because we want to know who's been compromised.
So, Mia, is that your reasons for why you care about the Epstein files?
I care about the Epstein files because I want the system destabilized. I want a revolution. I'm tired of living in this hellscape that we call the United States. And I wish everybody would stop pussyfooting around it. Everybody is guilty. We are literally living in a country where every single person is dirty. Every single person is guilty. These people are all connected. Their children marry each other. These people all go to school together. They're all part of the same secret societies together. It is a club. And as George Carlin said, we are not invited and we're not in the club. So why should we continue to propagate and hold up a system that is not built for us, for anybody? Unless you are a 1%er, this system is not built for us. So why do we continue to prop up a system that has done nothing but not only physically abuse us and kill our sons and daughters in foreign wars, because rich men never offer their kids. It's always the poor man that offers their children. They poison our air. They poison our water. They poison our pharmaceuticals. They have done everything for the last 150 years to show us that they want us dead. But still, people would rather be upset over Renee Good than literal monsters that eat children. Like, that's the crazy part to me. Is people had more of a visceral reaction for Renee Good, who put herself in that situation, who was an adult and made a conscious adult decision, than people are about what is happening to children. We have the proof. We have the videos. We have everything we need to prosecute people. But the problem is the system is not set up for that. So when are we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to stop feeding into the system and decide we're done? Is my question to everybody.
Hi, King. Welcome.
How y'all doing? How everybody doing?
Good. King, what's your take on the whole situation? Are you equally as upset about Renee Good, more upset? What do you think about the Epstein files? Why is it important to you?
I will say this, as you know, I am a liberal. I am a Democrat. I believe in progressiveness. I don't care who's on the file. Democrat, Republican, if your name is associated with this type of disgusting shit that has happened on that island, then you need to be prosecuted. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican. I don't care if it is a random person on the side of the road. If you had any partakings in anything that has to do with pedophilia, you need to be prosecuted. And so far as what Mia was saying, I kind of push back a little bit. I feel like if somebody goes through something traumatic, all of it is still relevant, regardless of the decisions that you made. A victim is a victim. Unfortunately, things happened to her that she wasn't completely okay with, and hopefully she'll find some type of justice. But anybody that is on those files need to be in jail, Democrat or Republican.
Yeah, I mean, but who's the they though? Like, Mia kept saying they. Who's the they? Andre, who's the they? I'll let you be the last one on this because I know you're
It's
fired
very
up about
simple.
Israel.
I know everyone is like, well, we want justice for the victims and we want to focus on the pedophilia, which is, of course, very important. But I'm more focused on the extremely deep Jewish connection that has infiltrated our politics, that has pushed our businesses and all these foreign wars, all the stuff we talk about, all these things that we hate within current society. Well, he's been pushing it for like the last 60 years. Well, it's been Jews in power. It's been communist Jews, Republicans, Democrats. It really doesn't matter. These people are bloodbound. They care more about their tribe than they do their nation. They've done this for thousands of years now, for 2,000 years. This is not something that's like, well, you know what? It's just, these Democrats and Republicans doing it. Like I said, it's very surface level. We need to have a conversation about divorcing ourselves from Israel, divorcing ourselves from this Judeo-Christian nonsense, and saying this is a Christian nation. We're not going to have immoral people within government who are partaking in the most disgusting acts that we're seeing here in these documents. We're going to have these people be loyal to another country or be loyal to foreign influence or be even compromised and have to bend the knee to foreign adversaries or even what we call our allies. We're not going to have that anymore. So, people love to say that I want the Democrats and I want the Republicans prosecuted, or I just want these people. I want a national divorce from Israel. I want a national divorce from Jewish supremacy. We're dealing with a racial and religious supremacy in this country. And black and white people, we're affected by it. Christians, we're affected by it. And it's Jews in power who've been pushing this nonsense and pushing this garbage on both of our peoples for the last 60 years. And the reason for why we're been at each other's necks for the last 60 years is simply because Jews have been pushing it racially, religiously, socially, politically, in every way since the end of Kennedy. So we just have to wake up and understand that it's more than that. People don't want to have this conversation because they don't want to be mean and, well, I don't want to be called a Nazi. Dude, these people are eating babies. These people are, compromising your politicians and celebrities. They're compromising and pushing you to go to war on their behalf. Who gives a fuck if you're going to be called mean things? Who cares about that? Grow the fuck up. We're adults. You don't like getting called mean things? Well, then go back to the play mat and go play with your graham crackers and your building blocks. And you can care about mean words and mean names there. But as an adult, I care about the sovereignty of our nation, the furtherance of our nation and our civilization. That matters more.
And so you talked a lot about like the Republicans, the Democrats. Well, you kind of mentioned political people. Do you think it's equally both, or do you think it's more on one side from what you've read in the Epstein files?
It's equally both. My bad. Oh, my bad.
Oh no, you're good. From what I've been reading, there's more prominent people on the left, and I'm not even just calling out just the people that perpetrated these acts. It's everything that has to do with it too, that everyone wants to make it about Donald Trump. That's why I'm keeping tying it back to the Democrats. You have key people in certain administrations doing everything and anything to circumnavigate a rightful election with Donald Trump, giving information. All of this started, like I said, right after Kathy Rumler under the Obama administration, which led into the Russia, which led into Michael Cohen being testified and being questioned by Stacey Blasquette, who's texting Donald Trump. Stephen Bannon probes the FISA warrants that were pulled out. All of this has a common denominator, and it starts in 2009, 2010 with the Obama administration. That's what I care about more, is getting all of this out in the public and actually showing the Democrats for who they are. Because again, it doesn't matter what we know about this situation. The only reason anybody is talking about Jeffrey Epstein is because one certain person's name is mentioned, Donald Trump. If we really wanted to go after trafficking, we would be going after the Sinaloa cartel. We'd be going after these big trafficking networks that probably have the same amount of ties that Jeffrey Epstein did to world leaders, to people that are high up, royalty, spies, whatever it is. If we really wanted to combat trafficking, that's what we would be talking about. But we only talk about Epstein because of Donald Trump. We don't talk about the 300,000 children that went missing under the Biden administration, that 100,000 of them were recovered under the Trump administration. Nobody talks about that. It's just Epstein. It's just a political talking point for the Democrats to actually seem like they give a shit about people, to actually think they give a shit about victims, that they actually give a shit about anything. And it's falling apart right in front of their faces. That's the biggest thing. This is your guys' only talking point for a year now.
Jay, I'm going to let you respond. Do you think it's all on one side, or do you think it's equally both sides?
Equally both sides. You're talking about with the Epstein files, correct?
Yes.
So this is my opinion. I don't care who it is. There's no argument when we talk about morality and children. Like, I understand what Enzo is saying when he's saying that's what he feels like is happening because it's just Trump on the files. I'm interested to see who's ever on the files. If you are associated with pedophiles, you need to be known. You need to be known. Just like when they said Bill Clinton was in there, lock his ass up. If he was on that island, lock his ass up. I don't care if he's a Democrat. If you can't say if somebody that I voted for is known and on record for being a pedophile and you can't say lock them up, you are the issue. If I found out any Democrats that are in office that were previously in office, I'm a Democrat, and I'm telling you, if I see any Democrats that are in office or were in office, lock their asses up. That's sick as fuck. If you can't say that about a president that is in office right now, you're a part of the issue. It doesn't matter what office they hold. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're messing with children, you're sick and you need to be locked up.
Well, something came out today, guys. We do have to touch on it. This is breaking news. I don't even have the clip. Secretary Lutnick testified that he's been to the island, but with his family. Let's watch. Oops. Here we go.
Testifying on the Hill, and he said that he had visited Epstein's island in 2012 with his wife and children, and that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And the Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Lutnick right now, or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Lutnick's performance?
No, Secretary Lutnick remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary.
Birds of a feather flock together.
So, Mia, hearing this, that we have active people in the Trump administration that's been there. And also, you know, it's funny, what's his name? Elon was saying, oh, release the files. I've read the emails. Elon has been multiple times to that island. He actually asked, are there crazy parties? I want to go on a crazy night. So the same ones that are hollering, release the files, have been there to the crazy parties. Do you think we should dismiss all these people that have ever been there? Or do you think we should give them a chance if they've been there with the kids and the family and the whole crew?
So it's my understanding, and I know Enzo knows this, so if I'm wrong, but Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted pedophile by 2008. So it's to reason that if you are a man with a family, why are you bringing your wife and multiple children to a convicted pedophile's island? Because legally, you're not even supposed to do that in the United States. So at this point in time, because pedophiles aren't supposed to be around children, parks, schools, you know, bus stations and shit like that. So it stands to reason what kind of person you are to bring your children to a secluded, literal pedophile island with a man that's there. And like I said, birds of a feather flock together.
I want to say
Birds
this,
of a feather flock together. Because
I agree 100%
was in the
with what you
White
said.
House. Elon Musk was in the White House too. I mean, some of his kids are older. They're in their early 20s. It wouldn't surprise me if he brought his kids too. I mean, this man's been a convicted pedophile since 2008. So anybody that has a single correspondence with him beyond 2008 knew that he was a convicted pedophile, and there is no defending that. I don't care who it is.
Him and
lock him up.
Bannon were going back and forth, and Bannon was talking to him about helping him clean up his image. That I read with my own eyes. You can't tell me it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed by this whole administration.
Michael Wolff interviews. I feel like the whole situation with Lutnick is going to turn into the same exact thing that happened with Acosta. How Trump had him resign after he found that out. I guarantee that's going to happen.
I just can't get over, I was there with my wife and kids. My son picked out 2 bitches too. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you were
No, I think that's a little weird.
Picnic there?
I think it's a little weird after he's a convicted felon. Because I hold the same argument for the Democrats that were having contact with him. Why were you guys having contact with a convicted sex offender in 3 states?
Push back on this point. I want to push back on this point because you're like, well, they're only saying this because of Trump. Well, Trump was out of office for 4 years, and the Democrats had both the House and the Senate and the presidency. If they had access to the files, what do you think it would be wise of them? We're talking politics here. If I'm in power and I'm coming up on re-election for a very big election, 2024 was huge. It would be in my interest to release this information because it'd be damaging for my candidate. Why didn't the Democrats do that then when they had the access to the files and they had the power to release it? I mean, if this was about Trump, they only care about, exposing Trump. They would have did it there and killed him as a candidate and got Kamala. So
I've been saying the same thing. I've been saying the same thing since the beginning. It's a political toy. It's 100% a Democrat Republican thing because it's a political toy. Let's look at what happened since they started talking about the files and releasing it. Congress didn't want to do their fucking job at all. Nothing happened since the second that they said the Epstein files. They stood on Capitol Hill parading around the victims of the Epstein files, which leads into a government shutdown that lasted 45 days. They come back from it. They passed one bill. After the shutdown happened, and it was the Epstein Transparency Act. Now everybody wants to get their shit together and actually start doing things. It is a political toy by the Democrats to say, oh, Donald Trump didn't do anything and he governed by executive orders because Congress didn't do their fucking job. That's literally what they want.
Sense. If they're going to release the files, they have to release information that hurt Democrats as well. So why would they, if they're in power, they would release all the information exposing Trump, and that would be it, and win the election. They had 4 years to fucking do that. They had 4 years to bury Trump, and they didn't do that. So this isn't a Democrat and Republican thing. Like I said, this goes back to the real question, the real topic, that it goes beyond just Democrat and Republican, because everyone wants to talk about the party shit, because it seems like this is all people know. It's like, well, it's about red team, blue team. No, it's more than that. It goes beyond that. And we don't want to have this hard conversation because it's going to hurt people's feelings and they don't want to be called mean names. I mean, Enzo, you can't sit back and tell me this is about Republican and Democrat when we're looking at both Republicans and Democrats working together, and, they're messing with kids and they're compromised and they're, pushing for certain policies that go against the nation that are not even in the interest of their own party, but in the interest of their own selves, politically, financially. I mean, this is not a partisan issue. This is we talk about class, we talk about race, we talk about religion. Those 3 things matter in this conversation, not party.
Yeah, again, we just see things through a different light.
And I've seen Williams videos, and I'm not the one to. I really don't agree with anything this man says, but I will say I am on board with this one thing that he's saying. It's not a political thing. It's more of it's both of them. Both parties have partaken in this crime. That's why this shit hasn't been released. And I mean, if you take time and read these files, it's disgusting some of the shit that has happened. I mean, I don't understand how hard it is for people to say, you know what, these group of people, and when I'm holding everybody accountable. I don't care what party you in. If your name is on that file, you gotta go. You gotta go. I don't think it's hard to say that. Like, if it's hard for you to say that and you're riding behind somebody so hard that everybody can go look up in these files and see they've done some pedophile shit, you need to take a look at yourself, because it's no way you riding for a party that hard that you're willing to get in a boat with a pedophile.
No, I would agree. I would 100% agree that this is both sides and everything like that. If we weren't talking about one singular person the entire time, all these names,
we're talking about everything else. Like, we're not talking about one person.
That's you guys. That's you guys talking about. That doesn't speak for the rest of it. That's
I would say a good majority of those who are aware and have looked over the file. I would say 30% of the country, 30% of the country. The other 10% don't care, and the other 60% really are just like, well, it's Democrat, Republican. No, we're looking at a class problem. We're looking at a religious problem. We're looking at a racial problem. And it all points to Jews being in power, Jews thinking they're superior than all the other goys below them. And then we're looking at the rich and powerful getting together and doing disgusting things because they think that, if we're going to partake in these disgusting acts, well, what do you have to do to show that you're loyal and you'll do anything that we say? Well, we're going to do the most disgusting things. We're going to do things with babies and kids because they're the most innocent. And that's how they get the dirt on these people. I mean, it's not even like we can't even. There should be no Republican-Democrat conversation. That shouldn't even be brought up when we're talking about the Epstein files. That's something that we should not even be having a conversation on. We're looking at a very big problem we're having in Western countries with our politicians, with our big billionaires and people who have a lot of influence and power economically, politically, that have been pushing for shit in our society, in our civilizational state, that have been to our detriment. So it's not a Republican-Democrat thing. That is the most surface level. I would say this, the class level thing. I would respect a class conversation first before I respect anything Republican, Democrat. That's just like, we're not going to have a conversation on that shit. We have to talk about, if anything, we could talk about the class and who's powerful and the money. But and then we have to also talk about the Jewish question. And I think a lot of conservatives are too. Linzo, I love you. I think you're, better than the rest I see around. But I think a lot of the conservatives, I'm just saying broadly, don't want to have this conversation because the Republican Party gives a lot of money to Israel. A lot of these conservatives, especially a lot of these conservative, very Christian, have this Judeo-Christian evangelical mindset that's been killing the Republican Party, that's been killing this country. And even some of the Democrats have this same mindset of, well, I don't want to sit back and say the naughty words about the small hat people. Fuck that. If this been white people, let me tell you this. If this been all white people, no Jews, everyone will be talking about it. If this was all black people and no white people, no Jews, everyone will be talking about it. But the moment we start seeing some hats and some noses and some Shylocks, motherfuckers want to get shy. What the fuck?
Can we talk about... Oh, sorry. I was going to say real quick, I don't think I saw a single black person on any of that Epstein list. I'm going to throw that out there.
They were banned. Well, Jay-Z's on it.
Jay-Z. Yeah, Chris Rock.
Oh, that's
too.
right. Jay-Z and Chris Rock.
No, there's a lot. But hold on. Mia, I'm going to have you respond to this one. Somebody was talking about jerky. I guess there's some sort of code word. I do have this clip I want to play, and it talks about
There are a lot of viral mentions about the 11-year-old, 10-year-old people sending these photos to Jeffrey Epstein. Did you uncover who sent those photos of little children?
I looked directly at the emails that have been widely circulated pertaining to the age 11, and I have it written down on my notes, the permission to kill email.
Yeah.
The Snow White, the littlest girl was naughty, etc. And those ones were directly sent by alleged victims.
So the most disturbing and darkest and sickest emails were sent by women to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and some of them pertaining to jerky, whatever that is. Yeah.
And so and so just quick follow. What is jerky? Like, what is that exactly?
I think that's the question. I don't know if it's like. And again, like going into specifically just based on what this is, I don't know.
It's a code word.
Context
It has to be a code word. Nobody
It's
talks
a code
about
word
jerky
and
like
it's
this.
Weird. Yeah, it's a code word and it's weird, but either which way.
We have beef jerky in the studio, okay? So like, Klein and I know, I've never spoken to my team or anything. There's no correspondence to me talking about jerky this obsessively. There's hundreds of emails about jerky.
It's a code word, and some of those emails were sent by women, and women that to be victims.
So you're saying that these victims are being groomed into
there's
becoming
evidence.
Traffickers themselves.
There's evidence of that. Yes, I'm not saying all of them.
So they're not actually victims. They're not actually victims, or they're.
I think that there are some that are
playing a
actual victims, but I also think that at a certain point, if you, depending on the severity of what you're doing, I think that there's a gray area. And then,
all right, guys. This is the problem I got with. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Can I be honest with y'all? This is the problem I have with the Epstein files. And Nia, we're the two women on the panel. Are they victims or are they not? Were they being groomed? This is the and actually, I told you guys this. I know someone, and I heard she was giving massages. So I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is not far from West Palm Beach. I heard this girl was giving massages. It has to be connected to this because she would go and she lived in North Broward, which was near West Palm. And I gotta say, she was bragging about how she was getting paid to give these old men massages, and it freaked me out. I was in 8th grade when she told us this. She was a little older than us, so I don't know what to think. Were they victims or were they not?
I mean, it's both. And in the eyes of the law, it's both. I mean, you become a perpetrator when you break the law, right? So you can start out as a victim. I mean, let's say you're 14, you're groomed, everything you're doing, but from the ages of 14 until you break the law yourself, which would be procuring these girls, bringing them in that situation, being a co-conspirator, if you will. So you are a victim until you break the law. And the law recognizes that. because a lot of women end up with Stockholm syndrome, end up with PTSD, and end up in survival mode where they're going to do whatever they can possibly do in order to survive. We see that all the time with serial killer couples. The women start out as the victims. They are the original first victim of the abuse, of the crazy, and then they have to go along in order to survive. And the second they start breaking the law, they become the perpetrator. So in my opinion, a lot of these girls end up being both. They start out as the victim, but once they break the law, they are a perpetrator legally. They're co-conspirators at minimum.
And for those of you guys joining, someone asked what happened today. What happened today was Secretary Lutnick testified today to going to the island. Ghislaine Maxwell refused to testify. She pled the fifth. Enzo, why do you think Ghislaine pled the fifth? Like, what's your thoughts? Is she scared? She's trying to get Trump to give her a pardon, from what I'm hearing. But what do you think?
She doesn't want to incriminate herself on anything that she possibly could be charged with. That's basically it. Because they're probably asking things that are hinted at in the emails that probably weren't used in her trial. Things that she knows. She's not going to self-incriminate herself. I mean, that's what she's doing exactly what her lawyer told her to do. I don't agree with the whole pardon situation. If Trump actually fucking pardons, that's I'm gonna be fucking pissed about that. I'll say that. She should put her ass in fucking jail. I will say that.
Well, there's footage that came out. I'm gonna play this for Andre and King J. Footage came out of her really not being in her cell.
Has just released 10 hours of surveillance footage of Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. And Houston, we got a problem. For one, the timestamp in this video is January 2020. And that's odd because that's more than 2 years before Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to prison. Not only that, but this doesn't look like the Ghislaine Maxwell that we know. Which is suspicious when you take into account the 4chan message that was released in the most recent Epstein drop that had a prison guard saying, "You guys, I'm shaking right now, but I think they switched him out," referring to Jeffrey Epstein. When you look at the new photo that also was released in the Epstein drop of his body being rolled out of jail, and you compare the profile to when Epstein was alive, there are quite a few differences. No shape, ears, distance between eyebrows and eyes. But would they switch out Ghislaine, and why? Well, it turns out that on Monday, she's supposed to be testifying in front of Congress. And she's one of the last living people that can name names under oath. So is it possible that they want us to get used to seeing this Ghislaine before we see her on Monday? As always, I want to hear what
Andre got us the first super chat of the night. This is from Andre's side. Mr. R. Shooter said, "Just found your channel. I like the message from you. Feel the same way you do. Thank you for watching, R. Shooter." Listen, I don't think me and you talked about this, Andre. I don't think Epstein's still alive. I know you're going to tell me why you think he's still alive, but I mean, I just don't. I think he was that good to hustle his way out of that prison cell.
I don't think so. I think, there's multiple assets. I think that Ghislaine and Jeffrey they were at the top. They had the biggest operation. But I think there's various smaller operations that were going on, connecting certain people, kind of filtering certain high-level people to Jeffrey and Ghislaine. Probably setting up the events or like, hey, I'm friends with such and such, and we're gonna have a party, go over to Jeffrey's, whatever. But no, I think he's dead. I think it's done. Ghislaine is the only one. That bitch in the video, I don't like no damn Ghislaine Maxwell. That bitch hairy and big. I thought she was about to say, only in America, like, I thought she was about to hop out the damn camera and shit. Nah, that ain't Ghislaine. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I don't think the bitch gonna talk. She's waiting for a pardon because what that does, it finishes the job. We've already compromised Trump. We've already got him with the dirty shit. He pardons him, makes him look bad. It doesn't really matter. The public opinion has already shifted that Trump is dirty. It doesn't really fucking matter what people say or how they feel. Or even if he didn't do any kids or anything like that. Well, he was connected with this person and guilty by association. That's how it is. I mean, people fucking are going to look at it that way. It's going to be written in the history books as that. And, maybe 50 years we'll get the truth. But as of right now, that's the way it is. And that's what she wants. She wants that pardon so he can be fucked over. And that completes the mission right there, one of the operations. But, I mean, like I said, people focus too much on the Trump shit. I mean, yes, he's the president, but it goes beyond that. It's further than that. But yeah, I don't think Jeffrey's alive. I think that nigga dead. You know, I don't think he over there in Tel Aviv. Fuck, he doing over there? You know, well, I don't know. I mean, he probably is doing the same
Living
shit.
his best
But no,
life.
he's dead.
Yeah.
He's gone.
You know,
he's
there's
living the best
like
life
a
in hell.
Well, I
He
got a
hanging out with
question.
Prince and Biggie and Tupac. They all hanging out in fucking Israel right
well,
now.
you know, there's a pedophile pipeline to
Yeah.
Tel Aviv. There's that pedophile pipeline.
Yes.
If you're Jewish American, you can go to Israel
Based.
free as charge
What
and
listen,
never
what shocked
ever
me-
get deported back here or anything. That's the
That's true,
pedophile
that's true.
pipeline. So many of
That's what we
them
did.
leave and go there.
That's true. The biggest one, I mean, the one that we don't, a lot of people don't want to talk about is the Dominic Suter, who was in charge of the urban moving systems during 9/11, the dancing Israelis. He left and fled to Israel. And we still haven't got the motherfucker. He's been there ever since. I mean, it's possible. It can happen. But I was surprised to see someone mention 4chan. I'm like, damn. What? We're talking about this openly now? That was forbidden talk. You couldn't talk about 4chan and poll and back in the day, but now you can talk about it. Holy shit. That's what made me crazy. This bitch talking about 4chan. This bitch sounds normal as hell. What the fuck she doing on 4chan? But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's it.
King, is Epstein dead or alive? What you think about it? Is Trump going party Ghislaine?
His ass cooked. I don't think he here no more. I think he dead and gone. He both of them shits. Dead and gone. I don't think he coming back. I think they did. I think when he got locked up, I think his fate was sealed. Ain't no way that man just hung himself with shoestrings. I don't believe that shit. They got rid of him a long time ago, and this is just the making. They getting ready to get rid of her ass next. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't say she done fell out the cell or some shit. I'm not gonna be surprised.
I mean, they're gonna suicide her too. I mean, they do for some reason. That is like everybody just happens to unalive themselves. I mean, I learned this. The man who worked for the government who gave the USB to Julian Assange, and he was able to release it through WikiLeaks. Conveniently, within a matter of days, he also committed suicide. Everybody seems to commit suicide in this country.
It's the Clintons.
Are you talking
Well,
about Manning?
She better get to praying.
No, I don't think that was his name. I watched an interview with Julian Assange talking about it. He said this guy's name. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, like he was the one that supplied Julian Assange with the information. All of a sudden, next thing you know, this guy's dead. Conveniently, naturally.
That's crazy. Well, Ghislaine refused to talk today, but 10 years ago, she had a deposition.
Can you list for me all the girls that you have met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's house that were under the age of 18?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I could only recall my family members that were there, and I could not make a list of anyone else because that list never happened. But I can take off. I'm talking about during the time that you were working for Jeffrey Epstein. Right. Can you list all the girls that you found for Jeffrey Epstein that were under the age of 18 to come work for him in any capacity?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
So I didn't find the girls. I didn't look for them. You choose the word.
Well, no, you don't choose the word. If you have a question, ask it.
List all of the girls that you met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's home for the purposes of employment that were under the age of 18.
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I've already characterized what my job was, which was to find people, adults, professional people, to do the types of jobs that I listed before. Pool person, secretary, house person, chef, pilot, But I'm architect. talking about individuals under the age of 18, not adult persons, individuals under the age of 18. I only looked for people, tried to find people to fill professional jobs in professional situations. Under the age of 18, correct? I think we've established was 17 and Is she masseuse. I'm sorry, go ahead. Is she the only individual that you met for purposes of hiring someone for Jeffrey that was under the age of 18?
Check the Foreman Foundation. This characterizes their testimony.
So I didn't hire people. I met didn't people. use the word hire. I said Yes, you met. did. I said met. So I interview people for jobs that were professional people for professional things, and I'm not aware of anyone aside from who clearly was a masseuse aged 17, but that's, at least that's how far we know that I can think of that fulfilled any professional capacity for Jeffrey.
List all the people under the age of 18 that you interacted with at any of Jeffrey's properties.
I'm not aware of anybody that I
So
interacted with.
painful.
She's
Other
such a
than
liar, bro.
he was 17.
She
It's
probably
guilty
doesn't
as
even
fuck.
know the amount of people that she has procured. There's no point in asking her.
Yeah, I don't know shit.
I have.
We have another super chat. This is Andre. He said, Bob said, I've been meaning to make a donation. Andre, do you have another avenue where YouTube doesn't take half?
You can go to my Patreon. My Patreon is in my link on my YouTube channel. And you can go to my Instagram. It's in link in bio. Also my X. So yeah, just check my description. If not, check the About Me section on my page. On any platform I'm on, you'll find it there. Go to my Patreon. That's it. I'm fine with the $20 though. I appreciate you. I'm not doing this shit for money like that. But if you want to, you insist, go ahead. But I do appreciate the 20. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Wow, I
make
didn't
sure
know
you
I was
guys
giving super
support.
chat. It's crazy.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I'm happy
I'm
for you.
like,
That's what's
goddamn.
up. We brought you some luck tonight. But check it out. Like I said, I knew the girl that was getting massages, Mia. We talked about that, right? I knew the girl. She was getting massages. She was telling us because she was recruiting bitches at the school. So the reality is, maybe she only hired 5 little girls, and then those 5 found 5 more friends, and then they found 5. And I mean, it sounds. I don't know how. I'm really not trying to be funny, but it is kind of sad. Mia, what's your thoughts? Do you think she knew, or do you think she's lying?
I would think it's a little bit of both. Did she know she was recruiting underage girls? Yes. Is she going to keep track of? We're talking thousands of girls through 20 plus years that she's procured for not only Jeffrey Epstein but their entire circle. There's no way she's going to remember all these girls' names. These people, it's a class thing, and these people view these girls as the help. They probably called them thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, blonde hair, brunette over there. Like, they didn't associate names. And the only ones that earned that kind of, I guess, remembrance are Jeffrey's inner circles, who became his girlfriends, and then his associates, which are also named as his co-conspirators. And that's like 4 girls that we know of thus
Mia,
far.
are you offended as a Black woman or a biracial Black woman that there were no Black girls on the island? Do you think that should be offended? Because they literally said not.
Absolutely not. Melanin saved me, bitch. Melanin saved me. For once, the racial profiling came in fucking handy. I can't help but be happy about this. It's like, for once, when people racially profile, it works out into my favor. I am pumped. I'm sure all women of color, all Black American women are pumped too, because we don't want to be associated with that, and we don't want nothing to do with it. It is the one time where you can racially profile us if it's going to save our lives and keep us home and out the streets away from these crazy people that are eating people. Racial profile us all day. I'm sure we'd rather be home
They know
anyways.
them bitches gonna tell. That's like Black bitches gonna tell.
No, we fight back. We fight back.
Diddy got caught.
You want bitches you ain't tell
You know
me?
what?
I want that bitch. Bitches gonna try to take over the show.
And Andre, you're not wrong, because I went to the Diddy trial, and all the women testifying against Diddy were non-Black women.
Yeah, Black bitches want to cut.
I'm gonna be honest. We would fight. I don't know what anybody, like, I don't know about you guys, but I can picture my cousins, my family, my aunties. I mean, they'd be picking up the shoe and be hit people. Are you serious? You think you're gonna get us out the house?
I don't think
and
they'll
you're
be
gonna
fighting.
we'd be fighting.
I think the Black bitches gonna want some money. They be like, listen, I want 20
culture.
grand.
I think it speaks to the culture of the difference between the two different racial groups. I think because when we talk about it like this, Black families, we are like I would say, like, there's like this level of like close-eyedness. We not just letting our children go off somewhere. Unlike the other side, you can go with this person that we just met 2 days ago. like my parents, I don't know about everybody else's parents. My parents didn't play that shit. We wasn't even allowed to stay the night at people's houses.
I don't
And I think
see.
that's
I
the
don't
general
where
culture.
I came from, King. I got to push back on you. I knew girls that was out in the streets. They was outside.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
I do agree about the whole. I do think we got a cousin we would talk to, though. I will give you this, King. We have a cousin we would talk to, and that cousin would go tell an uncle, and uncle will go handle Epstein. I will say that, but I don't think. I don't know the not having kids out your side. I got to push back on that, but I agree. I don't think it would have been quiet though. It would have been someone speaking.
yeah, I was about to say, like, yeah, little niggas outside right now, doing dumb shit. They may not be going hanging with Brad and Billy and Whitey, but they definitely out there doing gang shit and dumb shit, and that's why we have the problem in the black community today. So I really have to push back on that. But yeah, black bitches gonna want money. They're not even gonna tell. They're gonna tell because they're not getting a cut. A black bitch would took Ghislaine spot, said, "Bitch, I'll do it better. I'll get you 20 bitches up in here right now." Ghislaine, like, I can only get one. She's like, "Bitch, I get 100." Okay. That's what a black bitch would do. So Jeffrey, like, I can't deal with 20. I can't deal with 20 at once. And Ghislaine, like, I'll bring you one at a time. I'll bring you maybe 5. Black bitch would have brought 100 hoes in there, and they all gonna want to cut. No, that's why they said that shit. I feel Jeffrey on that point. That's the only thing I understand why Jeffrey did some shit. I don't want no black bitches in here. They gonna turn this place the fuck up. We ain't gonna own this motherfucker no more.
Oh, King, you can't hear him. King, go out and come back in. Can you hear me? Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I would want to go King's response. Enzo, what do you think? What do you think about Ghislaine testifying? Do you think she really didn't know the number? She was just trying to save her behind.
She's trying to save her behind 100%. The thing about with this whole Epstein thing is I've been following this literally since probably 2008, 2009 when I was a kid, because I lived in Palm Beach County when this all went down. So it was on Palm Beach Post every single day. People finding out that Jeffrey Epstein was this crazy fucking pedophile when he's a Palm Beach socialite and philanthropist and literally is well known in the community. So he's a fucking pedophile at the end of the day, but he's the least of the worries. Ghislaine, on the other hand, is the one who is procuring these people. The documentary that you played of the maintenance guy on the island, I watched that entire documentary about one of the women. She was speaking in the documentary about how they were in New York or whatever, and she jumped out of the car when school got out and was taking pictures of the kids and talking to the kids at the school to procure them for Jeffrey Epstein's nefarious everything that they were doing. She's the real mastermind behind this. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein's name is all over because he's dead. He really can't speak about this. We only know what the files tell us and what the non-prosecution agreement and the depositions that we have on him. That's really all we know. But like I said, she's the real mastermind and the real evil person behind this, because she's the one who did all of this for them. So yes, she's lying her ass off in that deposition. And I'm pretty sure she was found guilty of perjury too in her case, or was something around that. I know she was found guilty of perjury for something. So she's a professional liar at this point that got caught. So anything that she really says, I take with a very, very small grain of salt unless something backs it up.
King, before we do the last clip, what do you think? Is Ghislaine the monster or is it Jeffrey? Who do you think?
This is the problem that we're having in society now. A monster is a monster. They're both monsters. They're both disgusting. They both participated in this disgusting act. Regardless if this the person that supplied it and the person that used it, they're both disgusting. They're both monsters. There's no differentiating between the two. You did something fucking disgusting. He did something disgusting. She grabbed the children. He touched the children. They supplied it to multiple different disgusting people. In my eyes, this is all disgusting. There's no difference between who's the big monster and who's not the monster, or who may be a little bit less than a monster. Because when you start doing it like that, you're giving these people some type of grace. There's no grace to be given when you're taking part in these type of acts.
That's true.
No, you're right.
That's true. Yeah.
Before we go to the next clip, this is for you, Andre. Mr. R Shooter said, I don't know what to say, so here y'all go. Keep showing me don't have to be the stereotypes and followers they want us to be.
Thank
Who
you.
would have
Thank
thought
you.
that
I just
King
want to
and
say,
Andre would have seen eye to eye on stuff? What?
yeah, I just want to say,
Very,
somebody
very
said
little, very little.
very little. Someone said that she's dreaming of a pardon. That bitch dreaming of a rope and a stool. She dreaming to hang. That's what the fuck she dreaming about. She ain't dreaming
Yeah,
of
she's
a
not going to
pardon.
get out. She knows way too much
Yeah.
to get out.
Yeah,
She
she's
knows
dreaming
way
of
too
hanging
much.
and kicking.
It's
That's
no
what she
getting
dreaming
out.
about.
When they got her locked up, it was no getting out. Like I said, she's gonna fall out the
Yeah.
cell one day, and we're not gonna hear about her ever.
Yeah,
again.
I'll say
she's
this. I'll
never
say this.
seen
If
the light
she
of
gets a
day.
pardon, if she gets a pardon, she's gonna be out of jail for 3 fucking days before something happens to her.
Agree.
Guarantee. Right now.
Listen.
If she gets a pardon right now, it's the February 10th. She's gonna be dead in 3 days.
I
The
mean,
wind blow, that bitch gonna be dead.
she wouldn't get a pardon, and even if Trump decided to pardon her, that would be something that he would do on the very last day that he was in office. The last 15 minutes, that would be like the stroke of his pen. That way he wouldn't have to deal with it. But to be honest, he can't pardon her at this point in time, because if he does, I mean, it demolishes the establishment at this point in time, and he
Agreed.
needs the establishment to work, not just for his sake, but he has kids, he has grandkids. I mean, in a few years, his grandkids will start having great grandkids. The man's over 80 years old, so he needs the establishment and the elites to maintain control on the status quo. So he's not going to fuck it up that bad.
Yeah, and somebody said, why did they move her? They moved her so she's in nice conditions, but they ain't gonna pardon her. That's why they moved her, to get her to work with them to what they're trying to do now, but they're not gonna pardon her. And this last clip we're gonna play, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. This
He
is
is gonna pardon her. They're gonna pardon her from life.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're right. That's the only pardon she's gonna
She's
get.
sitting in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it for her. I'm playing. Okay.
Congressman Massey and I went to the Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, and we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner.
Are we really that surprised, though?
Nope.
And you know who Les Wexner gave money to when they first ran, right?
Yeah.
Enzo, do you know?
To be honest with you, last now.
JD Vance. That was one of his first campaign donors.
To be honest with you, I thought he was dead for some reason. To be honest with you, I don't know why.
I was online on TikTok, and everybody was so shocked about the, Muhammad Albion, the Sheik guy. And they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, what do you think they do in Dubai? Have you ever been on 304 Talk? What do you think those girls are doing over there in Dubai for that Gucci bag on Instagram?
MBS is mentioned. The Saudi Arabia guy, he's mentioned a lot. He supposedly was in some dealing, buying some house from some Russian to bribe to some. It's really confusing. I'd have to do a show on it. But basically, he was being bribed in some way. Epstein was alluded to, and trying to link it to Trump and Russia.
Yeah, because I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's the house that the Russian oligarch bought in Palm Beach. The one, it's not there anymore. The only way that I could describe it is it had like circle skylights and a fucking the in the garage that the circle fucking the car spun on it. It was one of Trump's properties that was like 15 minutes away from Mar-a-Lago that he sold for it. It was at the time, I remember it because we used to go past it all the time on when I was growing up on my boat on the ocean. It was the most expensive house ever put on the market in the world at that time. It was $175 million. And a Russian oligarch bought it and then tore the entire thing down. And the property is still vacant to this day.
Wow. But I remember it was some crazy deal he was saying. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, it was like doesn't make sense, the deal that was made for this house. And that's what they kept talking about in the emails that I saw. But anyways, guys, this was a good show. This is just the beginning. I think we're going to have to do a series on the Epstein stuff until something else is trending. I'm so sorry, team. This is what it is right now. I can't get away. I tried. We're going to start by doing... Ooh. The powers that be turned it off. My bad. We're going to start by doing closing thoughts. This was a good show. Mia, I know you want me to play a clip. I'm going to play it before your closing thoughts. But Enzo, what's your closing thoughts?
So my closing thoughts were this was a good episode. Andre, it was good having you on. We just see things, like I said before, we just see things in a different light. I see this through the red versus blue light, and there's nothing wrong with anybody else seeing these situations the way that they are. This whole Epstein thing, if people actually wanted to tackle human trafficking, we would pay more focus on the actual big rings, because when it comes down to this situation with Jeffrey Epstein is the smallest fish in the biggest ocean when it comes down to human trafficking. So it's in my eyes, I've seen it from the beginning. Like I said, I just look at this as procrastination in government because Donald Trump's in office, based off of what I've been seeing and how it's progressing. So hopefully this is just the end of it and we can all go back to our normal lives and actually talk about real issues that are going on in this country, instead of somebody who's been dead for fucking nearly 10 years now and some chick who's never going to get out of prison. That's my entire thing with the Jeffrey Epstein case. I am happy that Comer is subpoenaing certain people that are named in these files and getting information from them. So hopefully we keep going with that and put this whole entire thing to fucking rest.
Yeah, that was great. You know, we all can't think alike, so it's good to have everybody represent different sides. This is the closing clip that Mia asked me to play. It's kind of funny.
Named Jeffrey Epstein, skipped 2 grades, graduated at 16, got into an elite math program at NYU, dropped out, and then at 21 was hired to teach physics at the most exclusive private school in Manhattan without a degree. The headmaster was Donald Barr, OSS veteran, precursor to the CIA, who wrote a novel about elites keeping humans as sex slaves, and who just happens to be the father of William Barr, the attorney general who would oversee the jail where Epstein died 45 years later. Small world. One of those students at the Dolphin School where Epstein taught was the daughter of Bear Stearns CEO Alan Greenberg. Epstein told people that relationship got him his Wall Street job. Fired from teaching for poor performance, hired on Wall Street the next day. At Bear Stearns, he rose from junior floor assistant to advising the bank's wealthiest clients, including Edgar Bronfman, president of Seagram's, who would later co-found something called the Mega Group, along with Leslie Wedner and Ronald Lauder, a secret network of billionaire donors coordinating pro-Israel strategy. He joined the Rockefeller University Board, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations. David Rockefeller personally mentored him. A college dropout from Coney Island, at the table with the man who built the globalist infrastructure. It seems that many were fascinated or impressed by Epstein and his connections, which helped him become even more connected. A defense contractor named Douglas Leeson, and Nixon's former Attorney General John Mitchell introduced him to Stephen Hoffenberg, who says Lee's recruited Epstein for British intelligence, and Hoffenberg introduced him to Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell, media mogul who sold stolen surveillance software called Promise for the CIA and Mossad, document an intelligence asset whose daughter would move to New York and partner with Epstein. The same year he mysteriously fell off his yacht, 6 heads of Israeli intelligence at his funeral. Totally normal for a book publisher. During this same period, Epstein had an Austrian passport with his photo, but a false name and a Saudi address. That's not something you pick up at the post office. That's intelligence tradecraft. One of his clients was Adnan Khashoggi, the middleman, transferring American weapons from Israel to Iran. Iran-Contra, same scandal involving the CIA, same CIA whose precursor employed Donald Barr, same era Bush was running the agency, then the country. And a CIA-front airline called Southern Air Transport would later relocate its headquarters to service the brands of Les Werfner, the man who would give Epstein everything. But that's part 2. I'm just curious how a math teacher from Brooklyn ended up with a fake passport, a Rockefeller mentor, a seat at the Trilateral Commission, an intelligence recruitment chain that runs through defense contractors and a former attorney general, and a direct connection to the man who sold spy software for the CIA and Mossad. And I'm curious why, when they finally arrested him, there were 10,000 videos seized and sealed, 6 million.
How long is this?
Performance. This is
almost
Bad
done.
Bunny.
Identified and only one charge, the CIA director who visited his town.
Just when you think it's gonna end, it just keeps going.
That's how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Everything is attacking the congressman.
I can't believe this girl wrote this and is singing it.
I'm just
This
curious
is
if
the most
those
millennial
files
shit
stay
I've ever
sealed,
seen.
not to protect one man's secrets, but to protect the system.
Bro, we are millennials, Andre.
That is true. That is true. I'm the only Gen Z here. Damn. That's
But you know what?
Well, you and King are the same age, I think.
Oh shit.
Hell nah, we ain't the same age. That man look like he 40 years old.
I'm 25, my dude. 25. This
Y'all are
is the
the
thing. Men want to
same
look older. We don't want to look younger. We want to look older. It shows experience and you've been through shit. The more younger you look, the more less serious you
Nah,
are.
I don't think we the
Someone
same
should take
age.
I'm 25.
Yeah, how
Born
old are you
2000.
again?
25.
Oh, you younger than me. Damn, that's crazy.
King, how old are you again?
I'm 25.
Oh, yeah,
Both of y'all younger than me. Damn.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's something
Oh,
about being a
man.
conservative that aging.
I'm not a
Oh,
conservative.
Lord.
I'm a nationalist. I'm probably the least conservative person here. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know. But we're going to go with closing thoughts. King, we've announced you'll be joining our team on the new party. Let everybody know your closing thoughts and what the new party means. Welcome back.
It's been a pleasure. This was a good show. I think I'm gonna say the same thing I said the last time I was up here. Yeah, I'm back, and my main objective for this year is to keep my foot on you hoes' necks. We're focused on doing better and bigger things, and it's a pleasure to be up here at the new party. I think that this platform is gonna create some awareness for everybody. And then my last closing statement. This is just a general statement towards Democrats or Republicans. If anybody that's in your party is on that list and you can't condemn them, regardless if they're a Democrat or a Republican, like I'm a Democrat, I vote Democrat down the ballot. But if any of them are on the ballot, or if any of them are in that file, they need to be locked up. Bill Clinton is the only one that I know for so far. Lock his ass up. If any Democrats are on that file, lock they fucking asses up. Same thing for the Republicans. And if you can't do that, well, that says a lot about you. You might be you might have been on the island too. Who knows? Good show though, y'all.
Island. Thank you, King. And so, what's your closing thoughts?
I get 2 closing thoughts?
Oh, wait, you already went?
Yeah.
Oh, Mia's turn. My bad. I'm sorry, Mia. Mia, what's your closing thoughts? I'm so sorry. The days are running together. You know that.
My closing thoughts are revolution. Revolution. We need a revolution. We need to destabilize the system and tear it apart brick for brick, because everybody who's running it is screwing us all over every single day, all day long. So, revolution.
Man, you know who else says that? I don't want to compare you because I love you. But there's somebody else on our team that talks like, well, they're not really on our team. They're on lunch with the new parties. That's all I'm going to say. And they said, go burn down the White House. I'm going to just, Enzo knew who I'm talking about anyways.
That person will fucking do it too. That's the crazy thing.
I'm not saying burn down the White House, but I'm saying if you just happen to walk up and down the streets in Maryland, and everything just catches fire, including the Congressional building. I mean,
Shit,
it
you
is
can't
what
get
it is.
mad at that. They turned that motherfucker down though. He turned the White House
it
down.
is
You
what
might as well
it
have some
is.
flame on that motherfucker
Oh,
too.
Lord. Okay, Andre, I'm so glad that you came. Andre has been doing big things. So thank you for gracing us and being a visitor of our team. I appreciate everybody on our team. Shout out to Enzo, me, and King. But Andre, what is your closing thoughts?
when we look at the Jeffrey Epstein files, we're seeing a clear problem, Jewish supremacy, a Jewish problem in this country. We have to call it out. I really don't care about the Democrat Republican shit. I think I've said it that like many times here. It's surface level. It's not really something we should even have a conversation on. Like I said, I'm willing to entertain a class conversation before I entertain a Democrat Republican conversation. So we'll see what comes of it. Typically, nothing will. But what is important is that the next generation of Americans, we will bring the hammer down and remove these people from power and dismantle the current institutions and the current people, the current status quo. All that's going to go away within the next 15, maybe 20 years. So we're having a talk about it now. We're pissed off, but I'm optimistic things will change down the road. We'll see what happens. But at least the only thing I saw that was good, at least we know Putin is a good leader. Honestly, he wasn't on the Epstein files. They were trying to corrupt him. So shout out to Putin. Russia's based. We need a Putin-like leader in America. That's what we need. We get this shit cleaned up, all right? But even though they have problems over there as well, but at least it's not like us. At least it's not like how we got it. But that's all I've got to say.
Andre, guess who's coming tomorrow?
Who's that?
The Reverend.
Oh, the fucking fag? The fag conservative?
Stop
I
that.
should come on tomorrow. Homo? Queer bait?
Well, Andre, if you come to Orlando on our trip, you'll get to meet him. He might be coming. So
Nice.
you should, the hotel, the wife, Orlando.
Now I got to plan it out
come
because I
on.
already I've got a trip to Canada I'm going to around that time.
Oh.
So now I really got to plan it. I got to dodge between, pissing off the wife or, going and logging gay black conservatives and telling them how dumb and bought and paid for by Israel he is.
Don't piss off the wife. That's okay. I get it. Canada's more important.
Right. She'll be here. She gonna.
She
stay
can
out of the way.
come. She can
She don't
come.
want to do that. Hell,
Oh,
no,
you
she don't wanna
asked.
do that.
You
I'm
asked.
not doing
Okay.
that. Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
She. But guys, thank you so much for supporting us. Shout out to Andre Williams. If you guys are watching us for the first time and seeing Andre with us for the first time, please go give him a follow. Andre is doing big things. Whether you agree with him, he's making you think. He's making you think outside the box. And he's also denouncing certain degeneracy. So I actually appreciate Andre's takes on a lot of things. I may not always agree, but I appreciate him. So shout out to the new party team. Shout out to King J. Glad he's joining us. But guys, if you're watching us for the new first time, we do this every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night is the Man Cave. So please come back and check us out. We'll also be live streaming again Thursday night. So God bless. Good night. And thank you.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to Pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the new party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.